welcome everyone to the presentation of the Navy League's Vincent T. Hirsch Maritime Award for 2020. We will begin with Navy League National Executive Director and 13th Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, retired Mike Stevens. Sir.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our presentation of the Navy League Vincent T. Hirsch Award. As just stated, I'm Mike Stevens, the Executive Director of the Navy League of the United States, and it's an honor to serve with the Navy League. The Hirsch Maritime Award for Outstanding Leadership is presented to a distinguished American who has been singularly effective in creating a broader understanding of the importance of the merchant marine to the national security. The men and women of the sea services are lucky to have a dedicated champion in Representative Wittman, and it has been an honor to work with the Congressman and his staff to support those that work every day to preserve America's economic and national security. I'd like to turn it back over to Mr. Luke Lorenz. He can then introduce Mr. John Caskin. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you, sir. We now welcome Navy League National Vice President for Legislative Affairs, John Caskin, who will read the citation. Mr. Caskin is chair of the Navy League Merchant Marine Affairs Committee, which is tasked with nominating and voting on the recipient of this prestigious award. Sir.
Thank you, Luke. Congressman, just to give you a little bit of background, I wanted to find out a little bit more about Vincent T. Hirsch. Why did we name an award after him? He was the Navy League National President from 1977 to 1979. And because of that time frame, there wasn't a lot to Google off of the internet. So we have a Navy League book, and it didn't show any maritime connection. He was a financial investment advisor, insurance broker in New Jersey. But as I kept Googling, I found out he testified before the Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee for the Energy Transportation Security Act of 1977. And it was a bill which Congressman Garamendi would be interested in, because it was going to require a percentage of crude oil imports or oil imports in the United States to be on U.S. flag ships. And he testified at that time we had 288 tankers under U.S. flag, and it wasn't sufficient. And so now it's deja vu. We're having a tanker security program, which you are very which are helping to sponsor and get through Congress, and to help increase the number of tankers we have today, which is down to 45 Jones Act tankers and 6 in international trade. So it's deja vu in the sense that this award and for whom it's named after, you've got a connection to on what you're doing today. So I'll read the citation. It says, this is the Navy League of the United States, the Vincent T. Hirsch Maritime Award for Outstanding Leadership. The Navy League of the United States is honored to present this award in 2020 to a distinguished American who has been singularly effective in creating a broader understanding of the merchant marine to national security. This Congressman Rob Wittman, 1st Virginia Congressional District, for his commitment to the goal of maintaining a strong merchant marine and maritime industry to provide power projection and economic security to the United States. For more than 13 years in Congress, Congressman Wittman has been a member of the House Armed Services Committee and a strong advocate for his maritime district, home to the famed Matthews Men. Yes. As co-chair of the Congressional Shipbuilding Caucus since 2008 and a former chairman and current ranking member of the powerful House Sea Power and Power Projection Forces Subcommittee, Congressman Wittman held many hearings with the Maritime Administration, Transportation Command, and the Navy to provide oversight and to create awareness about the state of the nation's sea lift readiness. These hearings and Congressman Wittman's forceful and thorough questioning of witnesses have created a sense of urgency within the government to improve our nation's sea lift capability. Congressman Wittman's efforts have been crucial to ensuring the logistics capabilities of our nation and the health of the U.S. merchant marine fleet. The U.S. flag merchant marine maritime industry will be forever grateful for his contributions and his efforts, and they reflect the highest traditions of the Navy League of the United States, presented this 11th day of September 2020, and signed by William Stevenson, National President.
good. Thank you so much. Well, John, to you and Mike and Bill and all the great members and participants in this ceremony and for the Navy League, thank you. It really means a lot. What a great honor and a privilege. A great honor and privilege not only to receive this from the Navy League, but what an honor and privilege to be out there advocating for our maritime industry, for our merchant mariners, and to make sure that this nation has the fleet that it needs, especially in that logistics ship area. As you point out, tankers are critically important, especially tanker security. Our ships within the logistics fleet is incredibly important. The Ready Reserve Fleet, the Maritime Security Program, and I can go through those numbers, but as you point out, we are now at 46 ships in our Ready Reserve Fleet, an average now of almost 44 years old. We saw in the last turbo activation the low rate of availability of those ships. We know what we need to do. The Maritime Security Program, too, is at an all-time low from a high of over 300 ships at the beginning of the Gulf War to now below 100. It's a very sobering time in this nation's history. And I have to point to a recent production that really gives you a sense of what would happen during a conflict. There's a recent movie out called Greyhound, and it stars Tom Hanks. And Tom Hanks is a junior commander of a destroyer that is there to escort a supply fleet, a convoy as it was called, across the Atlantic. And that's not a big deal when you have air cover, but when you're outside air cover and you're having to battle U-boats and you see all of the chaos that happens during that time, we know how incredibly important our supply fleet is. We know how incredibly important it is to make sure that we have the proper ways to defend that. Our adversaries look at that. They look at the logistical elements of it and understand where that is a vulnerability. It is indeed a vulnerability unless we address that. And remember, it's not just making sure that we recapitalize the Ready Reserve Fleet. It's incredibly important, too, that we have a pipeline of merchant mariners, because you can activate those ships, but if you don't have the great merchant mariners on board to crew those ships, it all fails. So making sure, too, we emphasize that, emphasize students that come through high school to get interested in the maritime industry, whether it's working in building ships or repairing ships or whether it's crewing those ships, are all incredibly important. In fact, I use an example. My son, who is now a merchant mariner on a commercial fishing vessel, started out getting his able-bodied seaman certification, and we know that's the first step to being able to get on board a ship and work. And it's an exciting career, so I urge everyone out there to look at this career path. But again, it's really an honor for me to be here advocating for that, because I really think it's incredibly important for our nation. And it's interesting, when people hear about where we are today with the Ready Reserve Fleet, with where we are logistically and being able to support our forces, they're just aghast about where we are. And listen, we do a great job in building warships, but we know that you have to be able to support those warships. And I'm sure everybody saw the report that came out just the other day in looking at what the Chinese are doing. It used to be, we would say, the Chinese had quantity but not quality. And what we're looking at now is the Chinese actually have both quantity and quality. And as we saw the other day, and this ought to be sobering to everyone, is that the shipbuilding capability and capacity of the Chinese has now surpassed the United States. I hope this is a wake-up call for everyone to understand how incredibly important the maritime industry is to a seafaring nation. And that's exactly what we are as a nation. We are a seafaring nation. If we expect to be able to hold our place in the world, both strategically and economically, it will be over the lanes in the sea and free and open shipping lanes. And that comes from a strong security fleet, that is our warships, but also a strong logistics fleet. So I appreciate the Navy League and what you have done to help us highlight that, what all of your members have done to be part of that team to help us recapitalize the logistics fleet, to make sure we get those supply ships out there, those tankers, and now even cable security ships. We know how incredibly important that is also. So again, a real honor for me to receive this award today, and I will continue the advocacy to make sure that we have the fleet that this nation needs well into the future. So thanks so much again. I wish each of you God's blessings, and may God bless our great United States of America.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to the staff, both of Congressman Wittman and the Navy League, for making this event possible. This concludes the presentation of the Navy League's 2020 Vincent T. Hirsch Maritime Award.